Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I thought I would do something a little bit different. You guys know that I love using sketches. I love having the ability to have a starting point for my layouts, and I like to know how the layout is possibly going to look at the end. Now, sometimes I follow a sketch exactly as it is, and sometimes I go off on my own. And that's the great thing about sketches. But I wanted to talk about these two particular layouts. One sketch came from Scrapbook Generation, and the other sketch came from Page Maps. When you're doing double page layouts, there's only so many configurations that you can do for multiple photos. When I'm looking through sketches, regardless of where I'm looking for them at, I'm going to look for sketches that have a ton of photos, or gives me the ability to add additional photos. I planned these particular layouts months apart. That's the great thing about using the spinner wheel to decide which layout I'm working on. When I'm planning out my layouts, I'm not thinking about what order they're going to go up on my channel or where they're going to land in my albums. I'm thinking about these particular photos and how I need to find a sketch that works for those photos. I created the soccer layout first, and then when I went to create the bowling layout, I realized that these layouts are pretty much the same layout. So let's walk through that. I'm not able to get both layouts on my mat, so I'm going to divide this into sections. Basically, I'm going to divide it into three parts: the top half of the layout, the photos, and then the bottom half of the layout. So for the top third of this layout, you have an embellishment cluster over on the left-hand side and the title on the right-hand side. Both of those having large clusters attached to them. For this particular layout, you have the title on the left and an embellishment cluster on the right. These are basically mirror images of each other, but the concepts are the same. Whenever you're designing a layout, whether you're using a sketch or not, you're always going to want to follow some kind of basic rules. Things like the rules of third. And that's something that I always try to keep my eye on when I am designing my layouts, so that not only are the photos the focal point, but also the fact that I can be drawn into my photos. So going back to the bowling layout, I have the rules of third with my title over on the far left, this larger embellishment over on the far right, and then this smaller embellishment down here at the bottom. For the soccer layout, while my triangle is a little oddly shaped, I still have that triangle with my cluster at the top, my title over here on the right, and then this smaller cluster. So if you look at the three pieces, you have a really large triangle that is tying your eye into the centerpiece where my photos are. So looking at the photo placement, these photos are basically a mirror image of each other. Down at the bottom, I've got a set of smaller photos. I then have a larger 4x6 photo spanning into the smaller photos. While this top layout, I was using 3x4 photos as well as one 4x4 photo. For my bowling layout, I incorporated a 4x6 photo and then used 3x4 photos as well. This band in the middle on both layouts is something that I really enjoy doing. I like having a large band in the center of my layout with my photos attached to those. I feel like it gives a lot of room for the photos that I like to have on my layouts. But it also gives me a place to tie in some of the embellishments at the end or beginning of the row of photos. And then for the lower third of this layout, I was able to attach a couple more photos. So in the soccer layout, I got 3 2x2 photos. In the bowling layout, I was able to get 2 photos, one being a 2x3 and one being a 3x4, but they're basically taking up the same amount of space on the layout. For the soccer layout, I didn't include any embellishments down here, but I do have these string pieces. And then down in the bowling layout, I did create a cluster. So while I followed a sketch from 2 different companies, I have layouts that are very similar. The soccer layout is going to be in a 2023 album, while the bowling layout is going to be in a 2019 album. So they're not even going to be anywhere close to each other. And that's why I give myself permission to reuse sketches over and over again. I have no problem reusing a sketch or using a sketch that's similar. At the end of the day, there's only so many ways that we can organize photos and papers on a double page layout. So I want to encourage you guys to look at those sketches a little bit different. If you find a sketch that you like the photo placement, but you don't like the background, it's very easily to change that. Some changes are small. Taking a look at the soccer layout, you can see that I did not round the edges. However, I did round the edges in the bowling layout, and that gives the bowling layout a softer look. You can see how much using a corner rounder can change the effect of a piece of paper on your layout. Another thing that I see a lot when I am reusing sketches is that sometimes simple placements are changed. I want to reiterate that there's only so many ways to organize photos on a double page layout. And so if you are taking a look at a page map sketch, like this soccer one, and the photo that's a 4x6 on the far right hand side doesn't work for your photos, maybe the person is looking off to the right, so you don't want to have it at the end of your layout, it's a simple swap to put it over on the far left hand side. Sketches are such a versatile thing and can be used in so many ways. So please keep that in mind when you're watching my process videos. Whether it's the theme of the layout, like bowling or soccer, doesn't work for your layout, doesn't mean that you can't take inspiration from the layouts that I create, or even just using the sketches. Having the sketches is a great starting point, but having a layout to go along with that sketch really can change the way that you look at that sketch. There's been multiple times that I've looked at a sketch and then gone and seen how somebody has interpreted that sketch, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't have thought to place that there or use that embellishment. And while I may not scrap lift that particular layout, I may take key points from the layout as well as taking key points from the sketches to create my own layout. Scrapbook process videos are a great way to get inspiration. For my channel particularly, I do like to not only provide inspiration for layouts themselves, but I'm also giving you a peek into my life. I think about the process videos that I create. While I'm using my channel to create layouts and show you guys my techniques and things that I'm doing, I'm also using this channel as a way for me to leave behind a legacy that is more than just paper. In today's society that we live in, especially the kids that are growing up now, it is a very different world than what I grew up in. And while I love the fact that I am able to have this hobby and put my hands on paper and play and use it as a way to break from reality, ground myself, bring inspiration. Art is just such an amazing thing for your soul. I also know that paper isn't something that's going to be around forever. And I am hoping that my videos will last a little bit longer. So even though they may not have the actual layouts in years to come, they will have the videos. They will have my voice. They will have me walking through how I put the layout together, but they're also going to hear that story because every single one of my videos includes the story behind the layout. And I look at my channel as binge watching a TV show that is not in order by any means. So if you've ever gone back and caught episodes of your favorite TV show, and maybe you caught something this time that you didn't catch before, I feel like that's what you get from my videos as well. There are so many channels on YouTube that you can gather inspiration from. What I like to have for you in my channel is a safe place for you to get some inspiration for double page layouts that have a ton of photos. For using supplies that you already have. Just because I'm using a collection kit, whether it is something that I'm putting together and I just have embellishments for, or it's something where I'm using a full-blown collection kit, that doesn't mean that you have to go out and buy the exact same collection kit. If you see a layout that I've created and you have the right amount of photos that's going to work for that particular layout, feel free to make it your own. Feel free to bring out your own supplies regardless of what the theme is, because you can take a sketch or a layout inspiration, whether you're gathering that from YouTube or the multiple places that you can get it on all the different platforms that the internet has to provide. You can use your own supplies. And I hope that my channel brings you that encouragement to make the photos the star of your show, to use what you have, and to realize that scrapbooking should be fun, not perfect. And I can guarantee that I have made tons of mistakes on my layouts. You guys watch me fumble through it on almost every process video. I'm gonna channel my inner Nicole and say, you do you. I love having you guys watch my channel. I love interacting with you guys over on Facebook. And at the end of the day, I just want to be a channel that is encouraging and somebody that you look forward to watching. And you're looking forward to watching me not only to get inspiration from my layouts, but also to find out about this crazy world that I live in, because I love sharing about my life as well, so that in future generations can come back and watch my videos and see a little glimpse into our life. Alright guys, like I said at the very beginning, this video was a little bit different and it took a little bit of a turn even from where I thought it was going to go. I wanted to first showcase that if you're using sketches, you can switch them up like I did here. Even though I did 2 separate sketches, I ultimately realized that the bones of the sketch were the same. The center part of the layout was a row of photos, whether I had the 4x6 on the left or the right, and then I also had smaller photos, whether they were 2x2s or 3x2s, down at the bottom, regardless of whether they're on the right or left. And make the sketch work for you, because at the end of the day, it's all about getting into your scrap space, whatever that may be, and just finding joy by playing with paper, because art definitely feeds the soul. Alright, if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more inspiration for double page layouts that totally focus on photos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.